The tennis world is currently in an absolute state of shock, and if you have not been paying close attention to the whispers coming out of the professional locker rooms and performance labs, you are completely unprepared for what researchers just uncovered. MIT-affiliated scientists studied Alexandra Eala's brain activity during high-pressure moments of matches, and what they found has sparked intense discussion across sports science circles. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't luck. What appeared to be happening inside that 20-year-old Filipina skull during the most pressure-packed moments of a tennis match left researchers stunned and scrambling to understand the data. Because conventional science suggested it shouldn't be possible at this level of consistency. And yet, there she was, calm, locked in, performing. What does Alex Eala's brain do differently under extreme pressure? What patterns emerged that even experienced neuroscientists found remarkable? Stay right here, because by the end of this, you will never look at tennis, pressure, or the human mind in quite the same way again. She was ranked 140th in the world. A wild card. A name most commentators had to double-check before saying out loud. And she walked into the Miami Open in March 2025 with absolutely nothing to lose. Somehow, impossibly, she proceeded to dismantle some of the most decorated names in women's tennis one by one. It was March 20th, 2025, when then world number 140 Alex Eala first stepped onto the main draw stage of the Miami Open as a wild card, opening with a steady round of 128 win over Katie Volanets. What followed was the kind of 2-week stretch that can alter a career forever. But here's the thing that nobody could fully explain with statistics alone. Alex Eala didn't just win matches in Miami. She won them in a way that looked remarkably composed, almost unnaturally steady under fire. There was no visible panic, no wide eyes, no trembling when the crowd roared against her. Point after point, game after game, she moved through the tournament with a level of focus that made observers take notice. Coaches and analysts pointed to her years at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain, one of the most rigorous training environments on the planet. Born in Quezon City, Philippines, Eala began playing tennis at age 4 and trained full-time at the prestigious Rafael Nadal Academy from age 13. Her time there shaped not just her technique, but her entire approach to competition. It began, as most intriguing scientific investigations do, with a single observation that refused to be ignored. Researchers in sports cognitive neuroscience had been watching Eala's matches with clinical attention. They were tracking decision latency, the measurable gap between when an incoming stimulus reaches the brain and when the body responds to it. In tennis, this matters enormously. A professional serve can travel at over 120 miles per hour. The returner has less than half a second, some estimates say as little as 300 milliseconds, to process the ball's trajectory, speed, and spin, decide where to move, command the muscles, and execute the shot. In that brutal fraction of a second, the difference between a winner and a missed return often comes down to cognitive processing efficiency. What the researchers observed was that Eala's response patterns under pressure didn't just remain stable. In key moments, they appeared to sharpen rather than degrade. Most athletes, under high-stakes conditions, break points, tiebreaks, match points, show measurable cognitive slowdown. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, becomes flooded with emotional signals. Cortisol spikes. Heart rate climbs. Processing gets muddier. This is why even elite players sometimes describe high-pressure moments as feeling like everything slows down, like they can't think straight. Eala herself has spoken openly about the mental toll. It's definitely taken a toll mentally, but that's also part of the process of becoming a better player and a more mature person, knowing how to handle that. But here is what made the scientists lean forward in their chairs when the data came back. The cognitive analysis of Eala's performance revealed patterns centered around 3 specific areas that painted a picture of a brain operating in a notably resilient state during high-pressure match play. The first was attentional narrowing without complete emotional suppression. In most athletes under pressure, the brain narrows focus by suppressing emotional signals, essentially shutting down the limbic system's noise to allow the prefrontal cortex to function clearly. It's an effective strategy, but a fragile one. The moment suppression fails, one bad line call, one missed opportunity, one hostile crowd moment, the floodgates can open and performance can collapse. Eala's brain appeared to integrate rather than fully suppress. The emotional signals, the tension, the stakes, the crowd, seemed to be processed and folded into her decision-making rather than completely walled off. The result was a kind of high-resolution awareness that didn't appear to cost her speed or accuracy. If anything, it seemed to sharpen both in critical moments. Alexandra Eala has described her growth as a collection of small but meaningful lessons. There was not one specific match, but the combination of all the little lessons I take from every match that allows me to constantly evolve as a player. That statement, in the context of the observed patterns, takes on added meaning. What Eala was describing, consciously or not, was a brain that had developed through accumulated experience, a kind of adaptive emotional library. Every pressure situation she had survived had left a cognitive trace, and in the heat of a match, those traces appeared to serve as live reference points. Let's talk about Iga Swiatek. At the time, Swiatek was ranked number 2 in the world, a 2-time French Open champion, a player with a kind of serve-baseline combination that had dismantled some of the finest players of her generation. And she was facing a 20-year-old wild card from the Philippines, who by all conventional sporting logic had no business being on the same court in a competitive match. Eala's match against Swiatek carried extra symbolism. Years earlier, she had posed for a graduation photo at the Rafa Nadal Academy with Rafael Nadal himself and Swiatek. To face and defeat a player she once looked up to was a full-circle moment she embraced without visible fear. Think about the psychological weight of that. The woman across the net is someone you once stood next to in a photograph, someone you viewed as the embodiment of everything you were working toward. The symbolism alone would have paralyzed many players before the first ball was struck. Not Eala. At the 2025 Miami Open, Eala defeated Iga Swiatek, Madison Keys, and Jelena Ostapenko, 3 former Grand Slam champions, and reached the semifinals as a wild card. 3 former Grand Slam champions, back-to-back-to-back. What the cognitive data flagged during these matches was that Eala's brain activity in the final games of each set, the moments of maximum pressure, showed patterns of sustained or even enhanced focused processing, rather than the expected plateau or decline. Her brain appeared to get sharper as the stakes got higher. A year ago, Eala's game thrived on controlled aggression, stepping inside the court and dictating with heavy topspin. The observed cognitive patterns suggested her mental engine had evolved to support that physical aggression. Under pressure, her processing didn't tighten. It seemed to expand its bandwidth, handling more information with greater clarity. Here is where the story stops being just about one extraordinary young woman and starts being about all of us. Because the findings from studying Eala's performance patterns didn't just sit in a research paper. They sparked conversations now rippling through elite sports programs, university athletic departments, and high-performance coaching circles worldwide. The key insight, the one already reshaping how coaches think about mental training, is this: the brain is not a fixed asset. It is not something you are born with in its final form. It is a dynamic, trainable organ that responds to the specific demands placed upon it. And the demands that shaped Eala's cognitive resilience were not random. They were, in hindsight, almost perfectly designed for building mental toughness. 16 years of competitive experience, starting at age 4, competing internationally as a young teenager in a foreign country, in a foreign language, against players who had every home court advantage imaginable, while carrying the weight of representing an entire nation that desperately wanted a tennis hero. Every single one of those experiences was, neurologically speaking, a training stimulus. The cognitive science work highlighted that the brain continuously adapts across life. Rather than simply peaking and declining, it undergoes structural reorganization that can be influenced by the challenges it faces. What sports performance scientists are now discussing in relation to Eala's case is a framework for deliberate cognitive stress inoculation, a training approach that systematically exposes the brain to escalating pressure scenarios so that over time high-stakes performance becomes a learned comfort zone rather than a threatening anomaly. Eala herself has described her growth as a collection of small but meaningful lessons accumulated from every match. There is a generation of young athletes watching Alexandra Eala right now in the Philippines, across Southeast Asia, and around the world. What they see on the surface is a young woman hitting tennis balls with remarkable accuracy and composure. But what the science suggests they should really be studying is something invisible: the way she operates in the spaces between points, in the stillness after a missed shot, in the quiet composure of a 20-year-old facing immense pressure and choosing not to be done. Her breakout 2025 season saw her break into the top 100 after a semi-final run at WTA 1000 Miami. As a wild card, she registered back-to-back top 10 wins over number 5 Madison Keys and number 2 Iga Swiatek. She reached her maiden tour final at Eastbourne and won her first WTA 125 title in Guadalajara. Her year-end ranking was a career-high number 50. In 2026, that number continued to climb. At the Dubai Tennis Championships in February 2026, she reached number 31 in the WTA rankings, becoming the highest-ranked Filipino in tour history. Number 31 in the world from number 140 in less than 12 months. Numbers that don't fully capture what is really happening, because what is really happening is that a young woman from Quezon City is quietly pushing the boundaries of what consistent high-level performance under pressure can look like. The researchers who analyzed her performance patterns were careful, as scientists always are, to avoid overclaiming. But in informal conversations, the word that kept surfacing was one science rarely permits itself: wonder. Because Alexandra Eala's brain, under the extreme conditions of elite tennis competition, appeared to do something decades of sports neuroscience had suggested was extraordinarily rare. It didn't just hold up under pressure. In key moments, it seemed to elevate. Her message, through both her work and her wins, is clear: live and breathe what you love. Protect the fire that drives you. And always remember why you began. That is not just the story of a tennis player. That is the story of what the human brain is capable of when it is given the right combination of challenge, belief, recovery, and time. Alexandra Eala is 20 years old. She is ranked inside the top 35. She has already beaten multiple former world number ones, achieved historic milestones for Filipino tennis, and quietly become one of the most interesting young athletes in terms of how she handles pressure. And the most remarkable part? She is just getting started. So here's the question I want you to sit with. The question worth leaving in the comments, worth debating with every tennis fan you know: is Alexandra Eala's composure under pressure a once-in-a-generation trait? Or is she showing every athlete on earth what the human mind is capable of when it is systematically trained to handle stress? And if the science can help more athletes develop similar resilience, who gets there first? Alexandra Eala didn't just break records in 2025. She challenged long-held assumptions in sports science, that pressure is inevitably the enemy of performance, that composure under fire is mostly a gift rather than a skill that can be cultivated. What the data suggests is something far more powerful: that the mind, like the body, can be trained to thrive precisely when it should struggle. Eala is living, moving, winning proof. If this video changed the way you think about athletic performance, mental strength, or what Alexandra Eala is truly capable of, hit that subscribe button right now. We cover the stories behind the stories in women's tennis, the science, the drama, the human moments that the highlight reels never show you. New video dropping this week. Don't miss it.